John Adams was a preacher's son, and on the 1st July 4th, 1776, he said this: "It will be the most memorable epoch in history of America. I am apt to believe that it will be celebrated by succeeding generations as the great anniversary festival. It ought to be commemorated as the day of deliverance by solemn acts of devotion to God Almighty. It ought to be solemnized with pomp and parade, with shoes and games, sports, guns, bells, bonfires, and illuminations from one end of this continent to the other, from this time forward forevermore." In his book, The Four Loves, which, by the way, if you want to understand patriotism and so many of these other loaded words, I highly recommend you read it. He helps us understand patriotism. He begins by talking about the love of home, the love of the familiar, the love of and for one's neighborhood, friends, family, community values, and it leads to a love of country. But Lewis notes the actual history of every country is full of shabby and shameful things. We cannot allow ourselves to believe only in the fanciful history of our own country's past, avoiding all of its failures and sins. At the same time, what is good in that past should be remembered and passed down to our children and grandchildren. Patriotism learns from the past. Now, Lewis asks, who can condemn what clearly makes many people at many important moments behave so much better than they could have done without its help? Patriotism moves individuals beyond selfishness to give and share and sacrifice, particularly in times of disaster. And in the final love, a patriot learns to love his neighbor, even those who do not live within the boundaries of his country, because whatever country he is in is not his home, at least his real home. It is only when we realize that we are just passing through this world that we can look to our true home and become a patriot of that which we do not deserve, but which God in his mercy has given us as a gift. And this allows us to see the nations and the peoples around us in a very different way. It is that ability to love our neighbor, to love our enemies, to love as God has loved us, no matter who they are or where they are.